To ask why we fight is to ask why the leaves fall. It is in their nature.
Now how the hell are we going to top the last expansion, wherein we took down an evil godlike dragon by riding on its back and ripping its elemental plates off, then bashed him down a giant whirlpool? How the hell do you top that? Well, we don't even try. Instead, we flood into a conveniently unveiled land packed full of borderline racist Asian references. But luckily we still had a good time amongst all the racism. Now we all did the quests and dragged ourselves through the LFR Whitefests, but why were we doing all these things? Well, lucky you, I'm gonna tell you. So pre-expansion there was a small patch which included a scenario involving Theramore, which was basically showing that the Horde had blown the crap out of that place because in the wake of Cataclysm, Garrosh wanted more land for the Horde. Then, at the start of the expansion, during a battle between the Horde and the Alliance, both factions find themselves fighting in a previously undiscovered continent of Pandaria, or Pandaria if you want to speak posh. They fight this panda in the cinematic for a bit until for no reason the fight stops and the panda wanders off like nothing's happened. At least it looked cool. So probably as a metaphor for how shit us humans are with our planet, we outsiders are also being big pricks in Pandaria too, as we go about wrecking whatever we touch because of our war, including the first zone we encounter, the Jade Forest. Whilst fighting each other we accidentally knock over this big dragon statue built to become the next dragon protector thing of the land, and this causes the release of the Jar of Doubt. To be fair, I've been to that place and I'm just saying that if it was me, I'd at least have some signs up, you know, something along the lines of keep off the big statue, breaking it will cause monsters to spawn and kill everyone. At the very least get some yellow tape, but whatever, I guess it's all our fault. Anyway, surprise surprise, the evil Shah, like all other evil villains in WoW, are black. So racist, Blizzard. Other than being a racist stereotype, they actually had a lot of history behind them. They're actually a product or remnant of the old gods who, as described in my last video, look like big turds with eyes made of teeth. Thousands of years ago they ruled over Azeroth with chaos and corruption until the original creators of Azeroth, the Titans, got off their lazy asses and decided to do some spring cleaning. They opened up a can of whoop-ass on these guys but found that the old gods had latched onto Azeroth like a bad smell, and the only way of completely getting rid of them would be to destroy the whole world. So instead of doing this, they locked them away in Azeroth in some vague way that can only be described as them being imprisoned to Azeroth, which doesn't really make sense. Like, were they imprisoned spiritually? Like, where geographically were they imprisoned? How many were imprisoned? No, just be happy with they were imprisoned to Azeroth. During the battle between the Titans and the Old Gods, which is rumoured to have actually taken out a Titan, one of the Old Gods that got whoops, called Yasharj, a giant seven-headed mega monster that consumed hope and fed on fear, with its dying breath let out the Shah upon the land that it fell, i.e. Pandaria. Like its father of respiration, the Shah fed on negative emotion. However, over time the Pandaren learned to fight the Shah by being all happy and relaxed, and like any happy family, most likely helped by a good dose of repression and denial. Then we come in and wreck things by stomping in like a load of drunk retards and splurge a load of Shah everywhere. So we spread throughout the zones of Pandaria and things start to escalate when Garrosh, the leader of the Horde, attempts to gain and use a Mogu artifact called the Divine Bell to infuse his forces with the power of the Shah, ignoring the evil potential that it has. Garrosh is starting to go a bit psycho now, admitting that his likes and hobbies include killing, war and the exclusion of races all outside of the Orcs. So basically, yeah, he's a bit of a Jaina's major peeve now because Theramore was sort of a home and Garrosh's actions with the Divine Bell were one step too far. This resulted in her converting the previously neutral Kirin Tor mage faction against the Horde mage faction, the Sunreavers, and booting them out of Dalaran, the mage capital. This war carried on and escalated through patch 5.2, where we have to take down the Thunder King, Lei Shen, an ancient Mogu leader that has been resurrected with the help of the trolls. Side note on the Mogu, they were created by the Titans to protect and guard Azeroth and its creatures, but the old gods did this thing called the Curse of the Flesh, which changed creatures like this that were all titanic to more fleshy things. This made the Mogu all self-righteous and stuff, and so they started enslaving the Pandaren until the Pandaren actually fought back, and now they're just at war, with the Mogu mainly losing. We kick their ass a bit in the raid Mogushan vaults as part of this war. Other notable things we encounter in this expansion are the Mantid, the Jinyu and the Hosen. The Mantid have become corrupted by the Shah of Fear, but a protector faction of theirs called the Paragons of the Klaxi band up with us to help us purge this. The Jinyu are a race of fishmen, sort of like Murlocs but without the smallness and the retardation. They helped the Alliance through the start of the expansion. The Hosen are a bunch of monkey English speaking guys that work with the Horde and like to replace profanity with acceptable words, saying things like, "I'm gonna ook her right in the dooker," and it's still okay to say in front of small children, much like Battlestar Galactica's use of the word frack. So yeah, they help the Horde and they're sort of at war with the Jinyu. Anyway, back to proper war and stuff. On the Isle of Thunder, the Horde and Alliance are looking for artifacts of power to use against each other, and as a side project we kick Lei Shen's ass. We then get to patch 5.4 and Garrosh has been excavating the Veil of Eternal Blossoms. He's found the actual heart of the old god Y'Shaarj, with its mega evil and destructive powers still intact. And because he's such a cock, he fights with Taranzu, the leader of the Shadowpan, a faction of good ninja pandas. He wins and chucks the heart into the pure waters of the Veil, which releases a load of Shar and generally was not a very nice thing to do. Most of the Horde at this point are pretty pissed off at Garrosh for his reckless methods and ideals, so join with the Alliance to take him down in the Siege of Orgrimmar raid. The raid starts with us taking out the Shar of Pride, the most powerful Shar that was created when Garrosh dropped the old god's heart into the Veil waters. We also purify the waters of Pandaria by literally kicking this Shar out of Immersius. The Paragons of the Klaxi decided that the old gods were actually their true gods after all, and so joined with Garrosh so we could take them out too. Then we go around killing the rest of his posse in his new lair that he's carved out of Ragefire Chasm. Thrall comes to watch us prepare a freshly served knuckle sandwich to Garrosh's testicles. And we serve it to him good. However, we decided that killing him would not be good for the story of the next expansion, and so Garrosh is in a very low security prison at the moment. And so, with all that done, Mists of Pandaria has been completed, and we're all happy until...